Get ready, Staten Island. It's time to celebrate 5 years of Ferry Hawks baseball. Join us Friday, April 24th through Sunday, April 26th for our first homestand of the season and our 5th anniversary celebration. Score big with $5 tickets. Grab $5 domestic draft beers. Enjoy $5 popcorn. And yes, 2 Nathan's hot dogs for just $5. Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Ross Coldhart from News Nation, legendary journalist and live in Sydney, Australia. Ross, welcome to the other side of midnight. Hi.
G'day, Walter. How are you, sir? It's a very interesting time right now as we wait for the president to reveal what he's going to announce about UFOs. He's made a very big promise way back in February that he's going to disclose, and it is starting to look that the president is going to make some kind of disclosure. In fact, I've been told, my sources in the Pentagon and the Congress have told me that the White House has commissioned, or has at least been discussing the commissioning of what's called a commemorative coin for disclosure. Alien.gov has also been registered as a website. So it is starting to look like the president is looking for the ultimate distraction from his current woes, and we will be looking soon at some kind of an admission from the White House that there is potentially non-human life. And I think that this is a distinct possibility that, unbelievably, after an 80-year cover-up, the White House is dropping all the signs that it's getting very, very serious about revealing all.
He's going to put out a commemorative coin? Is that what you said?
Yes, I know. It's very funny.
Is that the epicenter of the announcement? Is that the epicenter of the leak, that he's going to put out a commemorative coin?
No. Well, as we know, back in February, Trump directed the Pentagon via Pete Hegseth to begin releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and unidentified flying objects. And he basically asserted that there was tremendous interest in the topic, especially after former President Barack Obama had made comments on a podcast suggesting aliens are real, which Trump amusingly accused Obama of improperly revealing as classified information. If that wasn't a very clear indication that there is classified information on aliens and UAPs, that was it. When Trump on Air Force One told Fox News that Obama had improperly revealed classified information by talking about aliens. And so he posted on Truth Social, quote, "Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and unidentified flying objects, UFOs, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters." And then in mid-April, just only a few days ago, really, at a Turning Point USA event in Phoenix, he said that the review process was underway and that officials had found, quote, many very interesting documents. He said the first releases would begin very, very soon, allowing the public to evaluate the phenomena themselves. He's repeatedly stated he doesn't know if aliens or ETs are real, keeps on saying, well, I don't know if they're real or not. I don't have an opinion on it. But we do know that the administration has registered the domain name aliens.gov in March. And we now know from my sources, and there are other people hearing this in the Congress as well, that there is this commemorative coin being crafted.
It's just too funny.
It's hilarious. It's a great diversion from the madness in the Gulf.
All right, Russ Coldhart of News Nation. He has updates about the president's promise to release information. But I think one of the interesting things I hadn't noticed till just now is the first member of his cabinet who he told to release information was the Secretary of War, not the Secretary of Commerce, not the head of state, the Secretary of War. This information is apparently in the Defense Department for reasons that you and I can only speculate on, but can probably guess pretty well. Now, the other thing you and I need to discuss is you broke news. 16, 17, 18 days ago, you broke the fact that a major general of the United States military left his house at 11 in the morning without his cell phone, without his watch, and in fact, right there, that's news. But then he disappeared, and his wife said, listen, if he can't be found, it's because he doesn't want to be found. Amazing story. He's still missing. We're up to 11 high-level scientists, military personnel, all involved with the space program, the rocket program, UFO program. All of them, young, healthy, have disappeared. What's your update on that, Ross?
Well, it's interesting because there have now been very senior former FBI officials who've said that there may be, they're speculating that there may be a plausible reason why there's been so many deaths or disappearances involving all of these people with connections to the national security secrets. But even the former FBI official, former very senior, I think he was a deputy director, conceded that it's highly unusual and highly irregular. And what's more interesting is, obviously, we now know that most of these people were involved in highly sensitive areas that involved aerospace technology. One of them was involved in developing an alloy that was absolutely essential for rocket engines. Now, currently, what's amazing is, aside from a press conference where Trump was asked about it by Fox News, again, it's good that Fox News has finally woken up to this as a story. News Nation's been pushing it along, my shop, but there's really been, quite frankly, a lot of the media has been dead at the wheel. They haven't been asking questions. And it's interesting because I do think the disappearance of a major general of McCaslin's seniority is so extraordinary that, frankly, it's utterly implausible that there's not a potential foul play explanation behind it. God help us if the poor guy is depressed and feeling sad because of some issue and he's gone out and killed himself. But at the moment, you would think if that was the case, you would have found his body. His wife, Susan, has openly, publicly speculated in a statement that she's made to the press that he didn't want to be found, and that's ambiguous. There's been some misreporting that the general suffered from dementia. That's absolutely not the case. He was having a few issues with his memory, but frankly, don't we all as we get older? But the simple fact is, it's the most incredible mystery that people from Los Angeles Nuclear Laboratories, people from the Air Force Research Laboratory, a major general with some of the nation's most secretive, top secrets in his head, are missing or dead. And there really hasn't been any kind of statement from any agency. And the most disturbing and I think quite concerning thing is Trump has put the Department of Energy in charge of the investigation, not the FBI.
Oh, I didn't know that. The Department of Energy, that's amazing. Is that because the Major General's former partner, she disappeared? She was very much involved with rocket fuel, energy, anti-gravity formulas, that sort of thing. Do you think that's what this is about?
No, actually, I think it's more to do with the fact that, frankly, the Department of Energy has presided over much of the cover-up for the last 80 years, to be honest, Walter. I think it's a disgrace that the Department of Energy is being put in charge of an investigation into something that it may have a role in. I'm in little doubt that the bulk of the cover-up, the secrets relating to UFOs that McCasland was trying to leak through Hillary Clinton back in 2016, thinking that she would become president, I think that what's going on is potentially the Department of Energy is being put in charge of investigating its own potential misdemeanors. I do believe that there are people from the Department of Energy and also the Department of Intelligences, some of the intelligence services, the Department of Defense, that are involved. But the primary cover-up has come out of the DOE. And it's because the Energy Department is totally excluded from a lot of the normal oversight because it's such an important agency handling nuclear weapons and nuclear power. And we're told, my sources tell me, that a lot of the big secrets relating to UFOs, UAPs, have been hidden for decades inside the Department of Energy. And so putting them in charge of the investigation and not the FBI is really putting the fox in charge of the henhouse.
Ross Coulthart from News Nation, what is the motive? What do you think the motive is to keep this a secret? What is the conspiracy driving this? Is it profit? Is it pride? Is it the fear that if it is revealed that there are other intelligent beings on this planet, that our government will no longer feel as though they're in charge? You've covered this. You study this. Ross Coulthart, News Nation. What do you think drives this conspiracy?
There are several possible explanations, and I have to speculate on all of them. The first, most likely one, I think, is purely and simply that there are a bunch of stiffs in uniform who think that the public have got no right to know this because if they reveal, for example, the existence of non-human intelligence, they think it's a slippery slope. They think that it will then force the revelation that the United States has developed super weapons, and I do think this is the case, using non-human technology. It's quite clear from some of the weapons that were used in Venezuela, some of the descriptions of weapons that were purportedly used recently in Iran, that the United States has technologies that no other nation on the planet has got. The big question is, where did those come from? Were they just clever breakthroughs with good science, or did they get a help along with recovered non-human technology? And so the argument from a lot of people in uniform, particularly, is a deep distrust of the public. It's this condescending idea that if you reveal what the government frankly should reveal, that it's known for years that we are not alone, that will then force the revelation of deeper secrets, such as the recovery of technology. The worst case scenario, Walter, is that the others, whatever they are, whoever they are, don't want us humans to know what's going on. And there have been talk of agreements. David Grush, when he went public with me, Major David Grush, a US Air Force whistleblower who went public in 2023 with me on News Nation, he blew the whistle on a secret reverse engineering program involving UAPs, and he admitted to me that one of the issues was that there were alleged agreements. Now, he's never specified whether those agreements are with non-humans, which is an incredible proposition, or whether there is a collusion between the great powers, the superpowers, Russia, China, and the US, to keep this secret. Now, nobody knows what the agreements are, but that's the other more plausible explanation to me. And I guess there's a third one, which I think is totally patronizing, which is that all of you Americans would get hysterical if you learned that there were aliens and that you can't handle the truth.
Ross Coulthart, News Nation, great journalist, revealing secrets to us, broke the story about the Major General who disappeared on this show. How do we find you on YouTube, sir, and how do we find you on News Nation?
You can go to YouTube and type in Reality Check, Ross Coulthart, and you'll find me there. And, of course, we have the News Nation app, and you can download us and find out where to watch us there as well.
You're a great friend. Thank you very much. Ross Coulthart from News Nation with Walter Sterling on the other side of midnight. Ross is live in Australia. with the latest information on conspiracies, UFOs, government cover-ups. There's nobody higher up the food chain of conspiracies than Ross Coulthart, and that's why I'm very proud and very happy that we have a terrific relationship with him. He will be back every Tuesday, Thursday. Hey, Chad, it's a benchmark. Walter Sterling, Red Apple Audio Network's The Other Side of Midnight.